down. Good. Good. Down. Good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good job, Boomer. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Boomer. Good. Boomer. Go ahead. Good job. Good boy. Yeah. Boomer. Good boy. Oh my goodness, so hungry. Good boy. Good job, Boomer. Good. Good. Boomer. Good job, buddy. Good.
Good.
Good job. Boomer, sit. Good. Good. Boomer, down. Good. Good. Okay. Yeah. Good boy. Good job. Boomer, down. Nice. Good boy. Okay. Good job. Good. Okay. Good job, Boomer. Boomer, face. Good. Good. Boomer, face. Good. Good. Okay. Good job. Good boy. Boomer, face. Good. Good. Okay. Nice. Boomer, face. Okay, open the door. Just open and shut it. Good. Face. Boomer, face. Good. Nice. Good. Good. Okay. Nice. Good job, buddy. Boomer, face. Good. You look so much bigger today.
Hey.
Okay. Nice. Good job, buddy. We can let him run around. Boomer, down. Good. Good. Down. Good. Good. Okay. Good boy. Nice. Boomer, down. Good. Down. Good. Okay. Nice. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Good job, Boomer. Boomer, yeah. Good. Good. Boomer, yeah. Good. Good job, buddy. Boomer. Nice. Good boy. Boomer, yeah. Good boy. Boomer, yeah. So I wanted to show you some kennel stuff with Boomer. So he's already gone potty, he's on a leash, ready to go, ready to work for the video. So I want to show you that some things that I do. You don't have to leave a leash on him in the crate. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Is when I get him out of the crate, I want him to be calm. Okay, good boy. And then he has to wait for the word okay, Boomer. Yeah, that's a good boy. Good job, buddy. Boomer, kennel. And if I ask him to go in, I want him to do it. And then I'm gonna give him some food. But that's kind of my rule, is I want you to go in when I ask you to. Wait. Okay, good boy. Good job, Boomers. He's like, I'm very good. I'm very good at going in the kennel. Okay, good boy. But that is an obedience command. Going in the crate on his own, having him do it, and then he gets rewarded. And sometimes if you're set up a little bit with the leash, good job, Booms, you won't have, Boomer, kennel, you won't have like the opportunity for him to kind of like do a silly dance and play keep away. You just kind of take that option away from him. Okay, okay, Boomer, good. And it kind of like helps with like frustration. Like you don't have to get super frustrated with him. You just can guide him in. Boomer, kennel. Good boy. And we've worked on this quite a bit until he knows, okay, door opens, doesn't mean just busting out. Good calm manners. Yes, Boomers. And then I shut it, open it. Oh, a little bit too premature. Boomer, kennel. I'm gonna try that again. So if he does that, what you can do is you can catch it early. Wait. Okay, good boy. Just do it again. Good boy. I really want him to understand a weight coming out of kennel doors. Yeah, that's a good boy. Good. Good boy. Okay, guys, really quick, I want to go over some notes, just some goals for the next 2 weeks that I want you to focus on with Boomer. So my number one goal is building focus. That's number one priority at this age, is building focus, because that is the root for good manners. It's the root for obedience. It allows us to have a dog that will listen promptly, do things for us quickly. And this is the age where I really want to build it up. So a lot of that's going to come through food and our leash. And I'm going to go outside here in a minute, have my husband film me, and show you what that looks like. Now, if there's times where he's not super hungry, let's say Peyton has been giving him some food from a bowl, which I still want you to be doing, then wait a few hours before you actually work on focus stuff with him, because I want to make sure that we're set up for success. So really, if he's full and he's not super motivated, I want him to be in a kennel until he gets hungrier. So I know that sounds like kind of harsh, but at this age, we're preventing bad stuff from happening and setting up only good behaviors. It doesn't mean that we're going to be perfect and he won't, mess up and not be focused, or, do something that a puppy would do. I mean, he's still a puppy. We have to cater to that. But I want to make sure that we build focus as much as possible. That's all the stuff I've been doing when I've gone out and about, when I've gone on my walks with him, when I've gone to Lowe's with him, or to clients. Anytime I've met with a client at a park, I've taken him. So I've used this exercise of just building focus, because it can also work through stress too. So at this age, dogs are now more aware of things, and so he's entering into like a period where he's now aware of more things, because his eyesight's getting better, his hearing's getting better, and so he's more aware of things. So I want to prevent him from getting nervous by stuff, and if he does get nervous by stuff, he needs to pay attention to you, and that's going to allow him to have better coping skills to work through stressors. All dogs experience stress, and every puppy's a little bit different. Some puppies go through fear periods, like I've talked about in the past, and some puppies don't. We just want to make sure that we are having the ability to work him through that, so he doesn't get stuck. on these spheres, and he can excel and progress and get better and better. So number 2 is exposure. So this being first, but this leads into number 2, exposure. So that's just what I've been doing, just trying to get him out. Now, don't go too long on this. So we really can burn him out on exposure. You can over socialize a dog. I know that sounds silly, but you definitely can over socialize a dog where they're just overstimulated and they can't think through a lot of that stuff. So when I first get him to Lowe's the other day, he was like really excited. He was panting a lot. He was, just heightened, had a more intense state of mind. And so we worked on focus. Once we got it, we actually just left the store. In fact, I was working with an older dog that I actually took back later because she could work longer than him. And I was like, let's just get this done and work with Boomer. And once we were out of food and we had like a kind of a peak where, like, I imagine this bell curve where it kind of starts off rocky and then we get to the top of it, and we want to end at the top of the bell curve. If we go too far, then it's hard to get back to a good place. So when you get them out places, like, set your timer for 15 minutes. Like the time we took in Shields was a lot longer than you need to go, and just go until either you're at a really good spot with him or your food's done and you're like, okay, let's go home. Like, let's be done. So just 15 minutes, finding a good place to end, or when you're about out of food but he's rocking it, just go home from there. But the whole time we're working on focus. So my third thing is obedience. So some things I've worked on with him is the place command and downstays. And so I'll show that in a video of like what you can do. But notice that this is my last priority because the next time he comes with me, we're gonna really solidify that. He understands heel at a very basic kindergarten level. So I'll show you what that looks like, but this is our number 1. So this is going to be building focus. It's going to be things like come and moving away from him. My goodness, this pencil is not the best. I don't know where my pen went. So come and moving away. Exposure, 15 minutes max, but more importantly, end on a win. Okay, obedience, things to work on: sit, place, down, heel, and you could group come into that because that's technically obedience, but it's more geared towards focus. Okay, some things that I want you to work on. I still want him to be on a leash when he's out of the crate. So I want it to look, this is basically his little life for the next 2 weeks. Let's see, we have a session scheduled for 2 weeks from now, I believe. I'd have to look at my calendar, but I think it's about 2 weeks. Work, potty, crate, or bonding. So these are kind of just different periods. If he's not falling into one of these categories, he needs to be put away. So work would be he comes out, he works for his food. Potty stuff, we want to make sure he's staying. He has had 0 accidents here. None in the kennel, none in the house, none in stores. He's doing really good. None in my car. That was one thing I was worried about, is that the crate in my car. Sometimes that's always my biggest fear with puppies is don't poop in my kennel in the car. I've had that happen, but 0 potty accidents. So that is something that I want to keep a top priority. So work, which would be something along these lines. Potty training, make sure like he just gets out and he goes potty, and that's what we're working on. Spending some time in the crate, and then bonding. So this is important, but it's not our top priority right now. So bonding with Peyton is really, really important, but I want to make sure that we're not putting too much food in this area where he doesn't want to do this, okay? So limit this to like, I don't know, quarter cup, and then the rest of his food's going to come from these 2, like mainly this, and then like a little tiny treats here and there for going potty. And I do give him a little bit of like a treat sometimes when he just goes in the kennel on his own, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. Because I want him to go in the crate before I give him the treat. That's one thing we've been working on. So that would be part of my obedience, his kennel. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through these and show you what it looks like, have my husband film me, and then I'll staple these videos together and upload it to YouTube.